darlings, and welcome to the Right Away After Party. We are so glad you're here, and do we have something special for you? My name's Kath.
And I'm Nic. Explain that, Kat, you're coming from London, so there's a tiny bit of a delay, but that's okay.
Bit slow. It's how we roll at the after party.
Yes.
Anyway, we have
Okay.
an absolutely fantastic guest to share an episode with today, and we know you're going to love it just as much as we are. But I'm going to let Nic tell you all about our guest, Stacie.
Yes. All right. Stacie is an award-winning author of The Sister Pack, which was named the YALSA 2016 Popular Paperback and a 215 Pulse PSLA, I don't know, top 40. Her novels earned Florida Book Awards as well as critical acclaim. Her short story, Without Being Asked, appears in anthology Coming of Age. And Stacie is also the new author of Spellbound by Murder. And I have read all of your other books. I have them all here. I've always been a fan. Stacie and I go way back in writers group. And she has a mom. She's a college football fanatic. Love
And
her
Penn State
dogs.
wrestling.
And what?
Penn State wrestling.
Oh, Penn State
We won the
wrestling.
national championships last night. It was
Oh,
very
awesome.
exciting.
Oh, really? Oh my,
That
I didn't even know
is
you were
a
into wrestling
different
and
thing.
football. I love it.
Wrestling, college wrestling, I will say, not professional wrestling. I like high school and college wrestling. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I love that. All right. Something I just found out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does
I
that
always knew
mean,
you were a
sorry, I
Gators
can't
fan.
resist. I can't resist, Nic. Stacie, does that mean you have boys or girls who wrestle?
Okay, so I have two sons and then I had my daughter, but none of them wrestled. It's just I always loved wrestling in high school. A friend of mine was a cheerleader for the wrestling team, so I used to go to the matches and it's just really exciting. And then I've worked at a high school for the last 22 years, and occasionally some of the kids I work with are on the wrestling team and I'll go to their matches too. It's a really cool sport. It's fun and exciting, and there are upsets and
Oh,
How
I love
lovely. Do
that.
you ever
Absolutely.
include wrestling in any of your books, your stories?
no, I really haven't written about wrestling. I'm a huge hockey fan too. Like I don't go to the Panthers games. I wish I did. I That's
Mm.
just a lot. But when I went to Penn State, my graduate dorm was right next to the hockey rink and where the hockey players played, and they were not a team then. They were a club. Now they're a Division 1A team, and they have this big rink and they have a band and they have the other. But when I went to school there, they and so many years ago, they didn't have that. And it was just like at the games, I would hear the games going on and I'd be like, should I do my schoolwork or should I go see a hockey game? And I went to see the hockey game every time. And there were like 50 people there. Like literally, that's it. And all of them were either dating or related to a hockey player in some way, and me, and it was just so much fun. The hockey players used to recognize me on campus and I'd wave to them. It was so fun. I'm always a fan of people doing things well. I was a reader well before I was a writer, and
Mm.
so, and I did put a hockey player in my book, It's My Life.
I think sports and books are always a good draw, especially like you want to get the other sex involved in our books. You want to put sports in there sometimes, but I love that female play sports too. Like I'm always an advocate for that too, because I think like
Yeah.
female hockey players, and I mean we just won that for the U.S., so that was awesome. Okay, so back to writing. Sports and writing, but they have a lot in common because they all take a lot of skill and high pressure, and that's what writing can be sometimes too. I wanted to discuss with so I have these books in front of me. These were all YA, and now this is an adult book. So what made
Yep.
you transfer the genre?
It was a lot of things happening all at once and also over a long period of time. You know how that
Yeah.
works. And so the first so I burst onto the scene writing YA edgy books, right? My swaggy books. and issue books and representing those teens I really wanted people to see on the page. And I'm still really proud of those books. But, along the way, I was at literary festivals with people who were writing fun books, and I was like, I kind of want that life too, that would be fun too. And then I had sold 4 books. I was doing really well. And then editors left and people, and I was like, I just don't know if I have another YA in me. I should I take a break from writing altogether? Like, these are conversations I had with my agent, and she's like, no, we just need to find another area you'd like to write in. And she kind of my agent is beautiful. Nicole is like this gorgeous thing, right? And she kind of tipped her head and said, I'd like to see you in a cozy. And I was like,
Ah.
really? Me? Cozy? And then I started reading a bunch of cozy mysteries, and they're really good. And I always loved Murder, She Wrote growing up. And, Columbo is less of a cozy than that, but it's still that same feel, right? And so I tried it, and I failed. I tried it and I failed. I tried it and I failed. I tried it and I failed. I literally sent Nic probably 10 or 15 fully fleshed out concepts, because she won't look at anything till you have the pitch, you have the blurb, you have the first like 40 pages. Like, it all has to come in a package to her till she'll consider. And every time I'd send her one, she'd be like, yeah, not that one, not that one, not that one. It was like swiping left. Not that
Oh,
one, not that one, not that one. And finally I sent her this one, and she said, I love this. And
yes.
once it was, we did a couple of rounds of revisions on the partial. She sold it in like 2 weeks. So
Oh, you sold
yeah.
it on a partial. You didn't sell it as a
Yeah,
whole.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So for cozy mysteries, I think that is kind of maybe the norm. I don't know. I just do what she tells me to do. But there is some people don't like the pressure of a partial, because then you have to come up with the book. I had 2 months to write this book, right? And that's a lot of pressure. But I like it because you know what you're aiming for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Can
like
I
writing
just
under pressure.
can I just touch back on something you said? Editors left.
I had an editor who had signed me for the Sister Pact, or bought the Sister Pact, and had bought 3 subsequent books from me. And during that time, she left that publishing house and went to a different publishing house. And when that happens, your book loses. She left right as The Secrets We Bury came out. And It's My Life was still sort of in the very beginning stages of the editorial process. So I had a contract on it, but nothing really had been done. So they have this really terrible, terrible term called orphaning. Your book is orphaned. And
Gosh.
it's a really gross way to put it, honestly. But it really does describe the fact that there's no one really at the publishing house that's fighting for your book anymore.
Oh.
The publishing house determines everything. Once they come up with the cover, most times they come up with or they collaborate on the title and the book design. It's all up to them, and maybe good for them because they know what they're doing sales wise.
Yeah.
They have they contact all the bookstores. They decide where it's going to go. They pay for placement. If you do not have an editor and who's actively working on your book or working with your book or pushing your book, it's a very slow slog.
Wow. I didn't even think about that. And is that's a business term, orphans? That's
Yeah.
term.
Here's what I thought my writing life would be like. All right. I thought my life would be like Jessica Fletcher. I'd be sitting at my kitchen table drinking tea or coffee. Either one is fine, right? I used to drink a lot of coffee. Now I'm more into tea. So whatever. And it would be rainy and snowy outside, and I'd be all bundled up, and I would just send it off to an editor. And then I'd get on my bike in New England. I live in Florida, by the way, so not actually happening, but and ride down to the dock and help solve a murder, as I'm picking up fish for dinner, right? That's what I thought my writing life would be. And I did not realize that there's like this whole other business aspect to it,
Mm.
that really decides a lot of things.
Yeah. I know. I'm kind of in that camp right now with my agent. We're talking about the industry and like where it's going, and that's why I was kind of wondering if you switched from YA to adult because of the way the market is, has been
Well, I
turning.
mean,
Well,
partially. I mean, YA loves a good debut. You know what I mean? They really do. They really love a good debut author. And there are some authors that keep winning at YA over and over again. I really felt like that had maybe passed me by. I am writing a YA now,
Mm.
that I'm in love with, but I'm taking a very long time with it. And it's has Jewish mythology in it, and it's kind of horror, and and it's like a friend group, and they accidentally summon a demon, and the demon
Ooh.
takes the main character's little sister. And so it's like it has a lot of meat to it.
Mhm.
So I really want to take my time with it, and I'm enjoying it. But I'm
good.
also writing another adult project that I cannot really talk about here, that isn't cozy at all, and it's a big project, and so that's exciting. But I just really want to kind of plumb the depths of everything I can do and everything I want to do. Um,
Yeah.
and I know indie authors do that just by changing their names. They take a different pen name and they develop a new persona, and that's kind of fun, right? And I even told my agent when we were shopping this, that she could shop it under a pen name if she didn't want to confuse readers about my readership, right? And she did. She shopped it under a pen name, and the editor that wanted it is like, I love this concept, I love the writing, but I can't find this author anywhere on socials. And she's like, oh, that her name is Stacie Ramey, and she looked me up and she goes, okay, we want to keep her name. So I was like,
Ah.
okay, so fine with me.
I
But
didn't
I'm
know
not
that.
sure what will happen in the future. Like, I'm shopping another, I sent my agent another cozy project this weekend, and who knows how that'll be shopped, or you know.
Okay. Wow. And where are you finding all this time to get all your writing done? Because you still teach full time, right?
I do teach full time. And one of the things, that book Atomic Habits, and it talks about 10,000 hours. Um, so I actually did the math. And from the time I first started writing, because I started writing very late in life, I didn't start writing till my 40s. And right before I met Joyce and my whole Tuesday critique group. That's when I first started. Amanda Kopich-Botsky was my first person in the writing world I had ever met. She was running a critique group, but I didn't get started writing until my 40s, and then uh, you know it took me approximately 10,000 hours, the exact amount of time between when I started writing and when I got published. And I think it probably didn't take me 10,000 hours between when I first started writing a cozy and when I sold it, but it was a long time. It was a lot of hours. I do before school, I do after school, I do on the weekends. My kids are all grown and out of the house now, which is sad, but there's no more driving them to games or ballet practice,
Mm.
ballet class, or or high school musical stuff. There's no more of doing that, which is very sad, but it does give me a lot of time.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh, that's good. I'm really happy to hear that you do before and after school. That's amazing because I mean I have a day job and I'm just like on my days that I actually go to the day job. I don't know if I have it in me after work to like actually like get.
I don't always write. I mean, I don't write every day. I used to write every day before I got published in YA. But I mean, I had to have a full writing education. I had never taken writing classes before. And it does require a lot of training and work and skill. So,
Mm.
I mean, have that under my belt, and now I just have to apply it to a new way of, I mean, there are different rules, there are different ways of doing things, there are different things you have to promises you have to make to readers and keep,
Mhm.
so learning those things and the stylistic things, I still have to work on that. But and I love that with every project I'm learning something new.
Mm.
um that makes me want to keep doing it. But yeah, I mean, before school, when I say before school, please hear me, I am not a morning person. But sometimes in the middle of the night I'll wake up and I'll jot something down. You know what I mean? Like, and I do a lot of prep work in my head before
Mm.
I sit down to write. So that when I write, it happens quickly. Like I'm in a meeting at work that 95% of it or 99% of it does not relate to me because I'm a speech pathologist. I'm not a teacher. And so during that 99%, I'm planning a chapter.
Yeah.
I'm planning a character arc. I'm doing something. So a lot of the mental stuff is kind of taken care of behind the scenes that when I actually sit down to write, I do that. My husband's in recovery, so he goes to a meeting every night from 7 to 8, or is it 7 to 8? And so during that time, I can either watch TV stuff that I want to watch, or I could read, or I could write, depending on where I am and
Yeah.
whatever's going
Mm.
on. And when it's been a really exhausting day at work, I allow myself to not write. Like, I
Yeah.
think in the past we were like forcing ourselves so much. You must do it, and accountability measures and word
Mm.
counts.
Mm. Mm.
And now I'm much gentler on myself and on my process.
I
Mm.
love that. I love that. I'm a cerebral writer myself. I get a lot of work done up here. And then when I go to the page, and we were just discussing that, how like the difference for me is the draft and the revision are so different animals in my brain. Like the draft is kind of more fun. It's like a
It
playground for
is. Oh, see,
is
I
that how you see
find
it?
the reverse.
Oh, you find the reverse. Okay. Oh wow. And so you when you draft, you're drafting like with seriousness then.
No, I mean, I think I'm really trying to work on belief, belief in myself, belief in the world, belief in, a higher power, but mostly belief in the process when it comes to writing. And so I used to really dread sitting down to write like a draft, a fresh draft. And until I got to 100 pages, it was like panic driven
Mm.
and upsetting, and that's no way to write. We should enjoy this. This is our art.
Mm.
This is our gift, right? I had high school teachers sit me down and tell me everything that was not my gift, like one after the other. Like my math teacher, it was a conversation that went on a lot longer than it needed to, but he's like, not your gift, like whatever. Maybe this math isn't for you. My typing teacher back then, they taught typing. Like they all were lining up. And I'm like, I get it, not my gift. But writing is my gift, and reading was always my gift. So, I should enjoy it. And I think until recently, I haven't. Like last year, soft girl summer happened. I like went into soft girl summer by writing, and I just started to say, what if I just loved it?
Oh, I
Mm.
love that. I love that. Loving what you do. I think I'm still kind of in the panic mode maybe because I haven't been published yet. Maybe that's why I'm kind of still there, just still
I,
searching for that
I,
get in the
I,
market.
right. I feel like every time we allow outside forces to sort of pollute our process, it feels unnatural and then we struggle, right?
Yeah.
And the struggle is real, right?
Oh, yeah.
Um, but but it's hard to not let outside forces get in because almost everything you do with writing relies on outside forces.
Mm.
Yeah. And out of your control too. Like just really, I mean, what you were talking about, like, the editors are really kind of like, the puppet masters in a way. Like you're just kind of like waiting to be have your strings pulled and I
I don't know if you remember this one time, Nick. We were at a conference and the editors were doing first pages. That's where they read everybody's first pages anonymously and give notes.
yeah.
And the two editors were just really not feeling anything. I won't name names. I should, but I'm not going to. And they were reading, and somebody had tennis in their first page, and they're like, oh, I hate tennis. I don't want to read anything. And we were all like, what is going on here? Like, you're making the
Yeah.
decision about my life because you don't like tennis? Like,
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, it was like being in high school again. And they're like, we wear pink on Wednesdays. You know, it's like no tennis and books, you know, and
Yeah.
for those particular editors. And they were laughing and they were having such a good time, but we were all so horrified. And I was like, that should have been the eye opener for me. It was not. It came much later. But that's kind of what we do. It's like walking the fashion way. It's like, oh, those colors are out this year. They didn't tell you, you know,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
art cannot exist like that.
I know it's that's kind of where I'm at right now too. Like I'm just feeling like, you have to just like not take it personally. Like it's not a personal attack. And the thing that I kind of keep feeling too is it's kind of a feeding frenzy. Like when one editor wants it, all of a sudden like a lot of editors want it. You're like, why? Like why did it just take
It's
one
really disappointing, isn't it? As
Yes.
a reader, it's disappointing. And I think, you know, the numbers of, sales and publishing, like 1% of the books do extremely well and they pay for everybody else's books, right? And we
Mm.
should all be grateful, I guess, right? Thank you, 1%ers. But at the same time, every time they do a feeding frenzy mentality, it really limits what's available and possible, not only for writers, but also for readers, you
Mm,
know?
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I
And
agree.
it
I
and
agree.
it and it really is disappointing to witness. And it's just really it's one thing that really changed my writing for me is I joined a private self-publishing group because I did put two of my novels. I self-published them. I didn't do a good job with it because I was getting coaching and it was amazing coaching, but I I'm not a person who can follow like a routine or program. Like I always like go, oh, I wonder what'll happen if I'm chaos. What if I flip this switch? And then I'm like, oh, which switch did I flip? I can't remember. And then the whole thing's down. Right. But then right around that time, my husband had a stroke, and thank God he's okay and doing
Oh,
fine. But I just put all of that to the wayside. I will go
Mm,
back to it. But it was in that group where I really let go of everything and just started to love writing again
I love that.
because I
mm,
knew that what I was writing was going to get into hands of readers, you know. And even though I am really only doing trad right now, um, the spirit of that group and those extremely intelligent, very successful, first in trad, now in indie women, all women, really lives in me, you know, like it really just gave
mm.
me new life in writing because it's like, what if it doesn't matter what the editors think,
Yeah.
you know? I mean, it
Yeah.
does matter, but you know what I mean? What if the conversation is between you and your reader?
Yeah, we just had a guest on recently that, is moving from traditional to indie, and she said the same thing. She said, she really just wants to have just direct contact to the readers, and, and really kind of like, not have that the industry dictate what goes into her book this time. And I was like, I applaud that for sure. And we have seen people in the space do amazing. I mean, Michelle Zink is doing amazing. Christina Farley is doing amazing. I mean, just these names are huge right now in the industry.
They are huge and they're loving their writing.
Yeah.
That was the big takeaway. You are allowed to love your writing, you know, because I used to say, do you remember I used to say writing is a bad boyfriend?
Yes. You used to say that a lot. My bad
I
boyfriend
don't
showed
say
up.
that anymore. Writing is the best boyfriend, you know?
Yeah.
He's the best boyfriend now. He brings you chocolates and roses and,
And books. He
and
gives me books.
Yeah.
yeah, and amazing people that just spring off the page. I mean, I'm not done with this book yet. I'm loving it. I mean, maybe the word cozy is because you just want to enjoy it and you just kind of want to. I don't know what makes it a cozy. I wanted to ask you that question.
Okay, so cozy mysteries have very specific rules. Um, the person who's unalived must be someone no one likes, you know, and it can't be on stage, it can't be gruesome. There's really no there's the romance is very slow burn, if at all. Um and there can't be any like really upsetting elements in it. So keeping all of that in mind, that's when you come up. And, it used to be, you know, I went from swaggy to snuggly. It just makes me happy to write these. These are easy to write, Well, let me start over. Mysteries are not easy to write. They're horrible. They're the hardest thing. I brought a visual aid. When I had 2 months to write that book, and I was like, what am I doing? I don't know how to write a mystery, because you have to have these red herrings, and you have to have and you have to track when each character knew about, so that and everything has to lead to the next thing, right? And I was losing my mind, and my husband was like, I was looking online for planners. Like, I had used Scrivener years ago, but it was so hard to use, and I didn't have time, and it's hard to learn too. I didn't have time to invest in that. So I needed something that worked now, and I looked at and Re Rebecca Puglisi has her emotional thesaurus. They have a writing program now that where you can outline. It was fantastic, but there was a lot on there. I needed something that was just bare bones, like Scrivener, but easy, right? And the ones I found that were like Scrivener but easy had AI, and I wasn't okay with that. And so my husband was like, what do you need? I'm like, I need one of those desk calendars, right? Where you could just write things out. And he's like, well, and every year I buy a planner and never use it. So this was my planning, my plotting for this book. Every page is either a character or a specific plot thread.
Can you lift up the book a little more, please? Oh, that's fantastic.
And I just scratched out the dates and I wrote it all out. And once I did that, it all made sense. I could write the book,
Oh, wow.
because it takes mysteries take a lot of planning, and every person on stage has to have a role, they can't just exist for the author or the main character, right? So yeah, anyway, this was my plotting.
They're supporting the cause or they're causing the cause.
Exactly, that's exactly right. So yeah, so that's how I did that.
Go ahead, Cath.
I think we need to have, Stacie, a whole episode to talk about cozy and planning the cozy, because we've sort of run out of time. This tends to happen. You know what it's like when you're at a good party and everything's happening, going blah blah blah, and the clock runs out.
Well, I think
it's hard to keep me on track too. So
but you were beautifully on task and off task and into and out of.
I think this was I think it was a fabulous conversation. Oh my gosh. And I think you found your next project, Stacie. I think you should create a planner, a mystery planner.
I'm not sure about that, but I appreciate your confidence in me.
Craft books are a really good sell. I always buy craft. All right. Well, this has been fabulous. I love this cover. That was the first thing I looked up, was who the illustrator was. I just think it's just so endearing.
They did an amazing job. Yeah.
It's endearing. I love it so much. I just can't wait to see the sales on it. And I'm just so excited for you. And I'm excited for all the books you're planning.
Thank you. And everybody, please review. I need reviews.
Yes.
Where do you want
the writer?
Where do you want people to review your book, Stacie?
Amazon primarily, Barnes & Noble, Shore, and Goodreads.
Amazon first, Barnes & Noble, Goodreads. Okay, your homework is read and review. Perfect. I have the rapid fire questions now, Stacie. 10 quick questions. You only need to answer with one word, or if you want to pass. If you want to expand, you can expand. There are no wrong answers. Where's your favorite place to write?
At home.
Lovely. Pen, pencil, or computer?
Computer.
I missed it.
You said
computer.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I missed that. Every day, most days, or sporadically?
Most days.
Wonderful. If you were an ice cream, Stacie, what flavor would you be?
Pistachio, classic.
Rainy or sunny?
Rainy.
Beaches or mountains?
Both.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs, definitely. Sorry, Lexi's cats. My daughter just got 2 kittens.
If you could meet someone from the past, your own past or historical past, Who would that be?
I think I would definitely be a writer, so probably Jane Austen or Emily Bronte.
I'm right there with you. I'll join you.
Let's go. Get that time machine fired up. I'm ready.
Woo. Umbrella or raincoat?
Do you remember those older umbrellas that were like,
A
I would
bubble?
like one of those. Definitely raincoat. Because
Okay.
I'm really short, so my umbrellas take people's eyes out, and I'm not that coordinated. I'm not like aware of people around me, so I'm like knocking people over.
Oh no.
For everybody's safety, raincoat and rain hat.
Rain hat. I love it. I love it. What would you save from a fire or a hurricane besides people and pets, of course?
I think that's it. People and pets. Maybe my mother's jewelry.
Oh,
Mm.
love that. Love
Beautiful. That was the last question, Stacie. Ding, 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 ding. Thank you
that.
very much.
All right. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. And writer friends, please like and subscribe our channel. And thank you again, Stacie, for coming on the show. It's been such a pleasure. And Cath, can't wait till you come back.
I'll be home on Friday.